It's a busy week for the Joe Biden administration. The president and his team have several engagements lined up, and a lot of them have to do with China. The U.S. is trying a new approach right now, a balancing act of sorts. Let me explain why I say this. We are looking at three major meetings. The first is in China. Biden's special envoy for climate, John Kerry, is in Shanghai to talk to Chinese officials. The second is in Taiwan. Biden's top emissaries are in Taiwan to discuss the developing military situation vis-a-vis China. And the third meeting is in Washington, D.C. Japanese Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga will be at the White House tomorrow, and this will be Joe Biden's first in-person summit. On the agenda once again is China. So the U.S. is talking to China. It is also talking to China's regional adversaries, and these talks are happening simultaneously. Will this approach work? Or is a confrontation inevitable? That's what we'll discuss tonight. We'll begin with the first meeting. John Kerry is in Shanghai to talk about climate action. And the timing is critical. Next week, Biden will host a climate summit of 40-odd countries. So Kerry's mission is very important right now. The U.S. wants China to control its emissions, give up coal-fire-powered stations, and stop financing coal ventures abroad. It's ironic because the United States and China are both the world's worst polluters. And we wouldn't need a global summit if these two countries could find a way to work together and cut their emissions. Now, America's hypocrisy, we know, is legendary. It will pollute, it will also preach. So Kerry is in China to convince China to cut emissions. It is not going to be easy for him, and the reasons are as much political as financial. Financial because switching to green energy will need investments. It won't come cheap. Political because why should China listen to America when America does not listen to China on Taiwan? John Kerry's visit is coinciding with another American mission. A delegation has touched down in Taipei. This is Joe Biden's first unofficial delegation to Taiwan. A former lawmaker and two former senior State Department officials are part of this delegation. Over the next 3 days, they will meet senior Taiwanese officials. Reports say Taiwan will brief the American side about China's recent provocations. They will also demand more support from Washington. Today, Biden's emissaries met with Taiwan's president, Tsai Ing-wen. Tsai told the delegation that China's military activities are threatening regional peace and stability.
I would also like to take this opportunity to thank the Biden administration for reiterating on numerous occasions the importance of peace and stability across the Taiwan Strait. Recently, we have seen that China has frequently dispatched military vessels and aircraft to carry out maneuvers in the sea and airspace surrounding Taiwan. These actions alter the status quo in Indo-Pacific and threaten regional peace and stability.
So how can all of this go unnoticed in Beijing? Earlier today, the Chinese Foreign Ministry issued a response. It told the United States to quote-unquote take caution and adhere to the one China principle, that same old line, but accompanied by new provocations. This month, 25 Chinese warplanes breached Taiwan's air defense zone. This was the largest incursion in months. And it wasn't the only provocation. The Chinese Navy conducted drills in the Taiwan Strait. The threat is serious. The U.S. intelligence community has come up with a report. It decodes China's military assertiveness in several regional disputes. Now, the American assessment says that there could be two reasons behind China's aggression. Reason number one, Beijing wants to use military actions to demonstrate strength. Reason number two, Beijing wants to compel neighbors to accept its claims over disputed territory.
China is employing a comprehensive approach to demonstrate its growing strength and compel regional neighbors to acquiesce to Beijing's preferences, including its claims over disputed territory and assertions of sovereignty over Taiwan.
These aggressive actions against Taiwan are expected to come up tomorrow as well. That's when the third big meeting will take place. Joe Biden will sit down with Japanese Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga in Washington, D.C. Reports say China is expected to dominate the talks. The United States wants Japan to back Taiwan. Biden wants Suga to issue a joint statement of support to Taiwan. And this is going to be tricky because Japan has its own territorial dispute with China over the Senkaku Islands. And a joint statement on Taiwan will only further aggravate the situation with China. So 3 meetings, 1 agenda, getting China to come to heel. And this could prove to be Joe Biden's biggest test so far. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.